Welcome to Italy, a country rich in history, culture, and natural beauty. From the ancient ruins of Rome to the romantic canals of Venice, Italy offers a unique blend of art, architecture, and cuisine that has captivated travelers for centuries. Whether you're strolling through the streets of Florence, indulging in authentic pizza in Naples, or enjoying the stunning landscapes of the Amalfi Coast, Italy offers an unforgettable experience for every visitor. Our journey begins along the stunning Amalfi Coast, where we'll spend 2 days soaking in the cliffside beauty and vibrant charm of Positano. From here, we'll make our way to the eternal city, Rome, for 3 unforgettable days filled with ancient history, rich culture, and mouth-watering cuisine. Next, we'll head north to spend a day immersed in the Renaissance charm of Florence, wander the enchanting canals of Venice, and finish our journey with a final day exploring the vibrant city of Milan. For those with a bit more time, we'll cap off our experience with an optional 3-day escape to the breathtaking Dolomites, where alpine beauty meets Italian charm. From sun-drenched coasts to timeless cities and majestic mountains, this trip is a chance to experience Italy's most iconic landscapes, flavors, and history. Join us for 10 days in Italy. But first, a few tips for your trip. Start your days early. It makes all the difference. When we visited in May, we were technically just outside of peak season, but the crowds were already in full swing. By getting up before the sun, we reached popular attractions just as the day was beginning, often by being the first to step inside as they opened. This early start gave us the rare chance to experience iconic sites like the Colosseum, the canals of Venice, and popular hiking trails almost to ourselves, making these moments feel that much more special. We used public transportation to get around the cities, then rented a car in Milan for the scenic drive through the Dolomites. Italy's train system is generally fast and efficient, except during occasional strikes, and it worked pretty well for us for traveling between the major cities. Having a car in the north gave us the freedom to explore more remote and less accessible areas that trains and buses don't reach easily. Our 10-day itinerary is fairly packed, so we recommend reviewing it closely to see if you'd prefer to spend more time in certain places or skip a stop or two for a more relaxed pace. Travel in Italy can come with unexpected delays, like train strikes or missed buses due to overcrowding. A little extra buffer can go a long way in keeping your trip stress-free. On day 1, we kicked off our trip by flying from Albania to Naples, then made our way to the Amalfi Coast, our first stop in Italy, via a combination of trains and buses, which took about 2.5 hours. Even in May, we quickly discovered how busy the region can get, especially when it comes to public transportation. Buses were often packed with tourists, making it tricky to find a spot during the peak hours of the day. It's important to know that the bus tickets aren't sold on board. You need to purchase them in advance from a nearby grocery store or cafe. And if the bus is full, it won't stop. So don't be surprised if you have to let a few pass before you're able to board. After dropping off our bags at our Airbnb in Murano, which was a more budget-friendly option than staying in Positano, we made our way to the beach to unwind after a long day of travel, soak up the sun, and enjoy a refreshing dip in the Mediterranean Sea to wrap up the day. On day 2, we woke up early and tackled the legendary Path of the Gods, a stunning hike that spans from Bamarano to Positano. Perched high above the Amalfi Coast, we hit the trail early at 6 a.m. to beat both the heat and the crowds, ensuring that we caught the sunrise lighting up the cliffs in all their glory. Staying in the budget-friendly Airbnb in Bamarano was a great choice, as it allowed us to enjoy a mostly downhill hike towards Positano, definitely the easier direction, since starting from Positano would mean a long, steady climb uphill. Carved into the cliffs of the Laetare Mountains, the hike is considered moderate, spanning roughly 3.5 to 4.5 miles, and it takes about 2 to 3 hours depending on your pace and how often you pause to soak in the stunning views. Upon reaching Positano, we were welcomed by the sight of the iconic pastel-colored buildings cascading down the cliffs to the sea. The free beach was a much-needed reward after the hike, and the cool water was incredibly refreshing after our hike. We couldn't resist treating ourselves to a classic sorbetto al limone, a tangy and refreshing lemon sorbet, perfect for a hot day, though a bit on the pricey side at €8.50. From Positano, we squeezed onto a packed bus for a short ride to one of the Amalfi Coast's best-kept secret. Nestled between towering cliffs, this hidden gorge is home to a charming stone bridge that arches over crystal-clear waters, leading to a tranquil beach. We spent an afternoon swimming in the refreshing waters and enjoying the peaceful, almost secretive atmosphere. Later, we hiked back up to the road to catch a bus into the charming town of Amalfi. We wandered through its picturesque streets, admiring the lovely shops and restaurants, but decided to save dinner for later in order to keep things more budget-friendly. Back in Bamarano, where prices were more reasonable, we treated ourselves to a delicious dinner of individual pizzas for just €6 each, paired with a refreshing limoncello at a cozy local spot, and the perfect way to wrap up an unforgettable day. Day 3 was primarily a travel day to Rome, beginning with a bus ride to the train station, followed by a 7-hour journey. To stick to our budget, we stayed at an Airbnb about 45 minutes outside of the city center. We took it easy for the evening, recharging for a full day of sightseeing in Rome the following day. We kicked off day 4 bright and early, catching the 5:30 train into the heart of Rome to arrive at the Trevi Fountain by 6:30 a.m. Even at sunrise, the spot was packed with tourists, being one of the city's most iconic landmarks and one of its oldest water sources. Today, visitors toss coins over their shoulders into the fountain, and it's estimated that around €3,000 are thrown into it each day. Every so often, the coins are collected and donated to charity. From the fountain, we took a short 10-minute walk to the Spanish Steps, a stunning 135-step staircase built in 1725. The steps connect the Piazza di Spagna at the base with the Trinità de' Monti Church at the top, and are famous for being featured in numerous films. Afterwards, we stopped for a quick coffee to fuel the day. We paid €4 for a teeny espresso and also got a pastry to fuel up for the rest of the morning. On our way to the Colosseum, we made a detour to the Basilica of San Pietro in Vicoli to admire Michelangelo's Moses, an incredible masterpiece that often gets overlooked, especially when compared to the more famous David in Florence. Michelangelo crafted Moses for Pope Julius II's tomb around 1513, and being just a 5-minute walk from the Colosseum, we were surprised to see that the basilica was nearly empty when we visited. From here, we headed straight for the Colosseum, arriving early enough to be among the first visitors through the gates. We bypassed the exhibits and made a beeline for the main arena, enjoying a peaceful moment before the crowds descended, which was such a cool experience for us. The ticket line outside the Colosseum can be incredibly long, so be sure to buy your tickets online in advance to save some time. The Colosseum, constructed between 70 and 80 AD, over a period of 10 years, was primarily built using limestone. It once held up to 50,000 spectators at a time for gladiator fights, dramas, and public spectacles. The funding for its construction came after the Romans destroyed the temple in Jerusalem in 70 AD. On our way out, we retraced our steps through the museum's exhibitions and quickly found ourselves caught in the growing crowds. There were many people trying to squeeze through the space, making it hard to fully appreciate the displays or read the informative signs. The peaceful experience we had had earlier was replaced by the hustle and bustle of the midday rush. One of the nicest things about Rome is the abundance of free, cold water fountains scattered throughout the city. With the sun beating down and all the walking that we were doing that day, we made sure to take full advantage of them, staying refreshed and hydrated as we explored. Next, we made our way to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill, both located right next to each other. The Roman Forum was once the political, religious, and commercial center of ancient Rome, filled with temples, basilicas, and public spaces where markets, elections, and important speeches and ceremonies took place. Just a short walk away, Palatine Hill is one of the city's 7 hills and one of its oldest neighborhoods, home to Roman emperors and aristocrats. After exploring for a couple of hours and still feeling like there was so much more to see, we headed to the Mamertine prison. We had 1 p.m. tickets for the site, which is located between the Church of St. John. It's believed to be the place where Peter and Paul were imprisoned before their martyrdom. The prison consists of 2 underground chambers, one atop the other. Our tickets included an iPad that served as a tour guide, helping us navigate through the exhibits and rooms. Just a few minutes from the Mamertine Museum, we reached the Capitoline Square, located near the Roman Forum. Designed by Michelangelo in the 16th century, it's a stunning spot, rich in history. In this area, you'll find the Basilica di Santa Maria, one of the 4 major papal basilicas in Rome, as well as the monument to Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of the unified Italy. It took about 50 years to complete, and if you make your way to the back side of the monument, there's an elevator that takes you to the roof. From here, you're treated to breathtaking panoramic views of the city, including a bird's-eye view of all the sites you've just explored, including the Colosseum. At €16 per person, it's a bit of a splurge, but we felt the view was absolutely worth it. After all the walking, we couldn't resist stopping for some gelato. Although it was melting so quickly in the heat, we didn't have much time to savor it. Despite being rushed, it tasted incredible, a refreshing treat to end our first full day of our 3 days in Rome. On day 5, we woke up early and made our way to the smallest country in the world, the Vatican City. Though only about 1,000 people actually live inside the city, millions of tourists visit each year. We had booked tickets to visit the Vatican museums, followed by a day trip to the Papal Palace of Castel Gandolfo, the Pope's summer vacation home. To be honest, we weren't entirely sure what to expect, and the process at the Vatican felt a bit overwhelming, with multiple lines, various ticket options, and no designated guide for our group. Before checking into the Vatican Museum at 8 a.m., we made our way to visit St. Peter's Basilica, one of the largest and most renowned churches in the world. Designed by legendary architects like Michelangelo, the basilica stands on the site believed to be the burial place of St. Peter, one of Jesus' apostles. Remarkably, it took around 110 years to complete. Next, we walked to the Vatican museums, where we checked in for the Vatican tours by train, costing €65 per person due to our last-minute booking. This was the only way for us to secure tickets for the day to get inside the Vatican Museum, and the process turned out to be a bit of a whirlwind, where we exchanged our electronic tickets for paper ones, then turned in the paper tickets to receive a sticker and audio guide. We were then shuffled quickly through the vast collection without a designated guide, but had the chance to pause and admire the awe-inspiring Sistine Chapel, where photography and filming were strictly prohibited. The Vatican City holds over 70,000 works of art across 50 galleries, including ancient sculptures, Renaissance masterpieces, and religious artifacts gathered by the papacy over centuries. Highlights include Raphael's room, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling, each reflecting the immersive culture and spiritual heritage preserved within the Vatican walls. Afterwards, we met up with the group at a designated point and began a guided tour of the Vatican's exterior grounds, led by a guide, before boarding a train to Castel Gandolfo, a peaceful retreat about 15 miles south of Rome. Traditionally used as a summer residence for popes, it remained a quiet getaway until Pope Francis decided to open it to the public in 2016. Nestled in the Alban Hills overlooking Lake Albano, the Papal Palace has been the summer residence of popes since the 17th century. Today it serves as a museum, offering a rare glimpse into the private life of the papacy, with opulent rooms and meticulously maintained gardens. After exploring the palace, we had some free time to stroll through the charming town square, where we enjoyed a drink and ate sandwiches that we had packed to save money, rather than dining at one of the restaurants in the square. We wrapped up the day with a visit to the expansive Vatican-owned gardens, which were once the vacation home to the Emperor of Rome, long before the papacy, before heading back to Rome. A peaceful and captivating end to the day filled with history and beauty. On day 6, we decided to take a break from the historical sites of Rome and dive into the city's renowned food scene, something Italy is beloved for. We kicked off our day with a quick cup of coffee at Golden Brazil Coffee. Coffee culture in Italy is deeply woven into daily life, with espresso being the traditional and most popular choice. Italians typically drink their coffee standing at the bar, often enjoying it quickly and without milk after breakfast hours. Properly caffeinated for the day, we were ready to indulge in some delicious food at Volpetti. Located in the Testaccio neighborhood of Rome, Volpetti is a renowned gourmet food shop, offering a wide selection of artisanal cheeses, cured meats, truffles, and fine wines. It's a beloved spot for both locals and visitors. We kicked off our self-guided food tour with a charcuterie board featuring 4 different local meats and cheeses, including mozzarella, ricotta, salami, and prosciutto, paired with a caprese salad made with mozzarella, tomatoes, basil, and a drizzle of olive oil. Next, we headed to Lo Scopitaro for some classic Roman pasta dishes, cacio e pepe and carbonara. Both were rich and bursting with flavor. We then walked off our pasta on the way to the famous Supli shop, where there was a line out the door. Here we tried the beloved Italian rice balls, typically filled with mozzarella, coated in breadcrumbs, and deep fried to perfection. At just over €2, this was an affordable and delicious snack, perfect for grabbing quickly during your days in Rome. Next, we headed into Trastevere, one of Rome's most beloved neighborhoods. Our next stop was a pizzeria. In Rome, pizza is typically sold by the slice, known as pizza al taglio or pizza romana. It's sold by weight and served in simple slices. Pizza itself originated in Naples in the 18th century as a humble street food for the working class, beginning as a flatbread topped with tomato, cheeses, and local ingredients. We wrapped up the tour with some classic Italian desserts. According to blogs, Corner Pizza serves the best tiramisu in the city, a beloved dessert made with layers of coffee-soaked ladyfingers, mascarpone cream, and a dusting of cocoa powder. Cannoli, an iconic Sicilian pastry, is filled with sweet ricotta cheese, often mixed with chocolate chips or candied fruit. Feeling full and satisfied after our food tour, we wrapped up our time in Rome, grabbed our luggage, and boarded a train heading north to Florence, excited to dive into our next destination the following day. On day 7, with just one day in Florence, we woke up early to make the most of our time and explore as much as we could. Florence is a breathtaking city brimming with architectural wonders and world-class museums. As the birthplace of the Renaissance, it's where influential artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Dante created masterpieces that continue to captivate the world today. Our first stop was Giotto's Bell Tower at the Duomo, where we purchased tickets to climb over 400 steps for a panoramic view of the city. With only one staircase, it was a bit cramped on the way down as more tourists made their way up. But the view from the top made it worth it. While waiting for the Duomo to open, we grabbed breakfast in the square, enjoying delicious pastries and coffee to kickstart our day. Our next stop was the Baptistry, the oldest building in Florence, dating back to the 10th or 11th centuries, followed by a visit to the Opera del Duomo Museum, which was included with our church pass. The Florence Cathedral, or Duomo, took over 140 years to build. The dome itself was an engineering marvel, constructed without scaffolding and still the largest brick dome ever built, using over 4 million bricks in just 16 years. Next, we visited Piazza della Signorina, where the Palazzo Vecchio, the town hall of Florence, stands proudly. We explored the lower level of the building before heading over to the iconic Ponte Vecchio, which spans the Arno River, Famous for its medieval design, the bridge is lined with shops, primarily jewelers and goldsmiths, a tradition that dates back to the 16th century. Remarkably, the bridge was one of the few in Europe spared from destruction during World War II. For lunch, we gathered a pizza and a calzone, which was made with a 72-hour fermented sourdough crust. The flavors were incredible, and each bite was a delicious treat. Of course, no meal in Italy would be complete without some gelato to top it off. To wrap up our day, we made our way up the hill to the Boboli Gardens, located behind the Pitti Palace. The gardens are one of the most famous examples of Italian Renaissance landscaping, featuring sculptures, fountains, and shaded walkways. They offer a peaceful escape from the city with breathtaking views of Florence. Originally designed for the powerful Medici family, the gardens reflect their wealth, influence, and deep appreciation for art and nature. To wrap up our day, we boarded a 2.5-hour train to ride to our next destination near Venice, setting ourselves up for an early start to explore the city the following day. On day 8 in Venice, we woke up at 4 a.m. to catch a train that would take us into the city by 5 a.m., where the streets were completely empty. This gave us the rare opportunity to experience the city all to ourselves while watching the sunrise. Our first stop was the Ponte di Rialto, the oldest of Venice's 400 bridges, built in 1588. From here, we were treated to the stunning view of the Grand Canal, the heart of Venice's waterway system. Venice was founded in the 5th century by refugees fleeing barbarian invasions after the fall of the Roman Empire. The city became famous for its wealth, art, and architecture, thriving on commerce and naval power. Next, we visited St. Mark's Square, St. Mark's Basilica, and the Bridge of Sighs, all located close to one another. After our early start to the day, we were in desperate need of some coffee, so we stopped at a charming cafe right off of the square. The cafe offered many delicious pastries and espresso, giving us the perfect pick-me-up. Refueled, we continued to wander the enchanting streets of Venice, eventually hopping on a classic gondola for a 30-minute ride at €80. It was an absolutely stunning way to experience the city. For lunch, we managed to snag a table on the balcony of a lovely restaurant over the water. It was the perfect spot to watch the boats and gondolas glide by, while we enjoyed a delicious classic Italian meal. We had spaghetti and meatballs, along with pesto ravioli. Absolutely satisfying. After lunch, we realized we had already seen and done everything we wanted to in Venice, and we were so glad that we had gotten an early start to the day. As we crossed back over the Ponte di Rialto on our way to the train station, the city had completely transformed than what it had been at sunrise, when we had Venice all to ourselves. We then headed back to our Airbnb to grab our things and made our way to the train station in Venice. After 2.5 hours, we arrived in Milan and spent the rest of the day relaxing, preparing ourselves to explore our final city in Italy the next day. Our first stop was the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, named after Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of the unified Italy. Built in the late 1800s, It's the oldest active shopping mall in Milan, located right next to the Duomo. The Duomo is a stunning display of classical architecture with its 135 spires and white marble facade. It looks particularly beautiful at sunrise. We purchased tickets for €18 per person to go inside and access the rooftop, offering beautiful views of the city. The Duomo itself, Milan's cathedral, is the second largest church in Italy, making it a must-see landmark. While we waited for the Duomo to open, we grabbed some espresso at a nearby cafe to fuel up for the day. Once the church opened, we made our way inside, joining the crowds that had already gathered. The Duomo took over 600 years to build, with construction beginning in 1368. After exploring the interior, we headed outside and joined a second line to access the terrace. For €12, visitors can take an elevator to the top, but we decided to save money and climb the 250 steps to reach the summit. The view from the top was absolutely worth the effort, offering a panoramic view of Milan's rooftops and the surrounding city. After visiting the Duomo, we dived into the Duomo Museum to dive deeper into its rich history and learn more about the church's impressive architecture and cultural significance. By then, we were ready for some lunch, and we made our way to a renowned Milan bakery and cafe that has been delighting locals and visitors since it opened in 1986. Known for its artisanal breads, focaccia, pizza, pastries, and all-day menu, this bakery serves some of our favorite foods from this entire trip in Italy. We spent the afternoon at Leonardo da Vinci's vineyard, which was gifted to him in 1498 by the Duke of Milan. Situated near the church where Leonardo painted The Last Supper, the vineyard was a symbol of prestige and served as a personal retreat for the Renaissance master. Although we couldn't actually get tickets to see The Last Supper, which books out about 3 months in advance, the vineyard itself was a stunning and peaceful stop, offering a rare glimpse into Leonardo's private life. It was a lovely and tranquil way to end our day in Milan. On day 10, you can either pack up and head straight to the airport, or if you have extra time like we did, consider renting a car and driving 4 hours north to the Dolomites to spend a few days exploring the amazing Italian Alps. The Dolomites offers some of the most stunning landscapes in Europe, with jagged peaks, crystal clear lakes, and charming mountain villages. Whether you're an avid hiker, a photographer, or just looking to enjoy the serene beauty of the mountains, the Dolomites provides an unforgettable experience to cap off your Italian adventure. Our base during our time in the South Tyrol region was the budget-friendly Smart Hotel near the village of Ortisei. The stay was simple but perfect for our needs. We just needed a comfortable place to crash after long days of hiking. Quick side note, while the hotel restaurant is quite expensive, there's a fantastic Turkish doner and pizza place just across the street that's a solid 10 out of 10. We ended up eating there more than once after our hikes, enjoying a delicious and affordable meal after a day exploring the mountains. Our adventure in the Italian Alps began in the Alpe di Suzi, Europe's largest high-altitude alpine pasture. But nature had other ideas. It was raining when we arrived. Undeterred, we headed to the Ortisei lift station, which opens at 8:30 a.m., to hike to the famous Seceda Ridge. Once again, the weather wasn't on our side. and we found ourselves hiking through the rain until we took shelter at a cozy refugio. There we warmed up with coffee and waited patiently for the clouds to lift just enough to catch a glimpse of the stunning views we came for. The misty atmosphere made the landscape even more magical. And though the weather wasn't perfect, the experience was still unforgettable. Undeterred, we continued on to the Sassuolongo loop around the Sassuolongo mountain range, embarking on the 10-mile hike from Sella Pass. The hike offers breathtaking views of jagged peaks, lush meadows, and serene alpine lakes, making it clear why this region is so beloved by hikers. Despite the overcast skies, the beauty of the landscape made up for the unpredictable weather. From here, we visited the famously photographed Church of San Giovanni in Val di Funes, nestled in a postcard-perfect valley surrounded by towering peaks. After soaking up the beauty of this valley, we marveled at the crystal-clear waters of Lago de Braias, one of the Dolomites' most stunning alpine lakes. The lake's serene turquoise waters reflected the jagged mountain peaks above, creating a truly beautiful scene that felt almost too perfect to be real. Our final stop was the Treccivi de Lavaredo area, where a single parking spot set us back $35. But the cost was quickly forgotten once we took in the views. With a network of trails weaving through some of the most iconic landscapes of the region, the 3 jagged limestone towers are legendary among hikers, climbers, and photographers. We opted for an easy 2-mile hike to a popular viewpoint and marked the perfect conclusion for our unforgettable time in Italy. During our 10-day adventure through Italy, which included 5 cities and the beautiful Dolomites, we spent $3,290, not including our international flights. Our transportation came out to $833, covering a rental car for exploring the northern part of the country, including gas, tolls, and an unexpected cleaning fee from the rental car company, along with a train, bus, and metro fares before picking up the car. For lodging, we spent $1,195 by choosing the most affordable Airbnbs that we could find, often staying outside of major tourist areas. Our food expenses totaled $691, with many meals consisting of peanut butter and Nutella sandwiches on the go to keep costs down. We also spent $571 on excursions and activities, including the gondola ride in Venice and tickets to various museums and attractions. All in all, we managed to experience a wide range of what Italy has to offer: rich culture, stunning landscapes, and unforgettable moments, while sticking to what we thought was a reasonable budget. We hope you enjoyed our guide and it has helped you plan your next trip to Italy. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below which country you'd like us to cover next. And we can't wait to see you in the next one soon.